Raw Crew, what's up? Welcome back to the Raw Crew. It's Not Fake Fancast. The Dark Show has the night off. You are being hosted by the one and only marksman Antonio Marks tonight, along with the one and only content guru, man, Malachimbi Jones. Say what's up.
Everyone out there, don't forget to subscribe, like, give us some comments, and share this wonderful video.
Now, at this time, we usually have a nice long disclaimer, but I just can't deliver it like the Dark Show can. So we're just going to skip right to the action. What do we got for him tonight, Chimby?
What we got for him tonight, we're going to start off, we had a pretty busy week, and we're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown. Let's get right into it, with Edge returning.
How about that, man? Edge coming out of nowhere after Roman Reigns gets in the ring with his side mouthpiece, Paul Heyman, best in the business. Still like to point that out. Doesn't even get a chance to drop a single word before the rated R superstar ruins the entire party for him. Now, where I want to go with you there, man, Edge came in and wrecked a little house. And Jimmy Uso came out to give him the right hand. What do you think's going on there, man? I'm a little confused. Is he just starting to fall in line?
He's absolutely falling in line. Like, here's the thing, Edge is going to fight Roman at Money in the Bank. However, he's just going to be another victim. Like, he's just going to be another person up on the wall for Roman. Like, the Usos are falling in line. They're not going to leave him anytime soon. Maybe later on it'll happen, but right now, no. Like, he's falling in line. He knows where you don't bite the hand that feeds you, and that's where Roman Reigns is right now.
Yeah, but Jey Uso is also nowhere to be found right now. So what does that exactly say? It's not like he has everybody falling in line if you drop one Uso to gain another, or like where do you see this going? Like I also thought they were trying to take it a main event Jimmy Uso way, even the way Roman said on Friday that he's trying to get in that main event spotlight. What can he get out of falling in line if the Usos already lost that tag team title match, two of them, I like to say, in the same night?
I mean, I think right now what they're doing is they're biding their time with the Usos, and when Jey Uso can finally come back, they can get the titles and win, and that's how Roman Reigns will be like. Roman Reigns can then be like, "I did that for you. Remember, I did that for you." And that's what I think he's doing. He's playing mind games with both of them. If you separate them, it helps you out. If you have them together, it doesn't. You know what I mean? And that's basically like wrestling psychology. You always want to separate people and have them in a different mindset. That's what Roman Reigns is basically doing. He's best thing going out of all the shows. Like, he's going to be on pay-per-view. I'm excited for that. He's the best thing going. He has great matches. He still has the best promos, and he's like, the stuff he's doing is pretty easy and simple. It's a lot of old school stuff when you look at it, but it's not overdone. It's perfectly done.
Oh, I completely agree with you. Like that, this whole storyline, the head of the table, Roman Reigns, is a well-seasoned idea. Hopefully, it's what they had in the back burner since they got him away from the Shield. But it took a long time to see that since he just changed his theme music maybe like a month or two ago. So let's getting back to him in the title picture. Edge. Where are you really putting Edge up as cannon fodder for the next pay-per-view? Are they even going to announce a Money in the Bank match tomorrow? Is that what you're saying?
I think they actually already have announced this match. If not, they're going to announce it. This is going to be a Money in the Bank match. I mean, it's going to be a Money in the Bank pay-per-view match. It's going to be a title match. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be like some kind of fodder. Like, come on. You think Edge is going to beat Roman Reigns? No. He's not coming in to do that. He's coming in to be a babyface, fight Roman, and probably move on to Seth Rollins or something like that. He's not going to come on here and win the belt. That is not what's going on. That's not what Edge isn't all greedy like that. He's just going to come in, do his thing, bounce around a little bit, and then maybe leave again. Who knows?
Now you say that, but we know WWE's history about giving legends titles, Hall of Famers titles. And if you can sit there and say that Ed's going to be fodder after they let Goldberg defeat the Fiend, I think it's just going to be another like fall in line thing. Yeah. When he did it both times, Goldberg served as nothing but a transitional champion to get a little extra camera time and sell a little extra merchandise. And you know, if you don't agree, like when he beat the Fiend, he immediately lost it to Braun Strowman. Like when he beat Kevin
Yeah,
Owens, he
well,
immediately lost it to Brock Lesnar. He was a transitional champion both
it was like
times
really
just to get
old
a
at that point.
WrestleMania match.
He's just really old at that point. They probably were just like, look, dude, we'll give you some money and we'll give you the belt for like a little bit, but then we're gonna have you bounce it to some next young person coming up. It's a monster. I think Edge doesn't need the belt. Edge knows that, and Edge can have a good. They had that triple threat match at WrestleMania. It was good. This can be another match really good. Just 1-on-1 now, them two. And Edge, I think, wants to be a babyface coming back now. He wants to be a babyface, and they need some babyfaces on SmackDown. They have a lot of heels, so it helps things. It'll help. It just I don't see him beating Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't see anybody right now on the roster beating Roman Reigns or anybody like Edge is on the roster. I don't see him beating Roman Reigns.
You
Do
see a
not see him
stipulation
beating
to
him.
this match?
I don't think there is a stipulation. Is there?
No, I'm asking you. Or do you see a
No.
stipulation to this
No.
match?
No. I just see it being a title match. It might be a little aggressive, but that's it. Hopefully, it could be the main event. Who knows? I mean, it all depends who wins Money in the Bank. Let's talk about that on Friday Night SmackDown.
On one point, like I want before we jump
point.
ahead to the next part of SmackDown, I want to argue like Edge's side one more time that he had the same claim to the title that Roman had when Roman gave it up for leukemia. Edge gave it up for his injury. Edge never lost the title. They can legitimately argue this promo for promo that going for the belt wise, he's just trying to get back something he never lost. And that could be Vince kind of paying him back a little bit. I can easily see that happening. Edge isn't here to stay. We both know Edge isn't here to stay. But as far as the numbers go, I can see him being 1 to 2 month champion. Just to highlight SummerSlam and lose it back.
I think you're getting a little carried away with an injury as opposed to a deadly disease. You know, that's two completely different things. You know.
Well, if you're forced to
And
give up the
Roman
title
Reigns, yes,
for
Roman Reigns did have leukemia, but he also worked his like butt off to get where he is today.
and Edge
has
didn't.
really worked a lot. Edge did, but Edge is like older now. Roman Reigns is a young cat.
And Goldberg's a young
dude.
bull.
He's your dude. You know what I mean? The Goldberg had the belt for a little bit. Edge is not going to have the belt. I'm sorry. SmackDown's a different game than Raw. This is a different roster. It has always been that way. He's not going to beat Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is the top guy on all shows. All shows, that's including AEW and all that. He's the top cat out of all of them, in my opinion.
And also the problem is that he is all that SmackDown really has. Like without Edge popping up this week, his promo was on point. He wiped everybody out. Anyway, we can go into this a whole lot more, but we're gonna get on to the next topic. What's next, bro?
Let's go next topic. Next topic is speaking of SmackDown and speaking of the next pay-per-view, we'll have Money in the Bank ladder match. And we already have Ricochet, John Morrison, and Riddle in there. Now we have from SmackDown, Big E's in it. So let's talk about if Big E. What if he wins the Money in the Bank?
Power positivity, baby. Like I'm glad you brought that up because I do see him like it making sense. Him losing the IC to Apollo Crews and then immediately getting the Money in the Bank push. So far, the field is stacked in his favor, with the exception of we don't jump ahead to Raw yet. But I think he has a legitimate chance of even coming that in, and that's where I'm also seeing nobody throwing anything in consideration when it comes to Roman losing the belt via cash in. So he can make a very huge statement right there, with him going against Edge, and Edge is always willing to deal out some pain, definitely enough to incapacitate somebody afterwards. So he can make a huge impact in that. He definitely so far is the biggest dude in the match outside McIntyre. What's your thought?
I think this is our fan favorite. I think this is a fan favorite. This is who everybody wants to have win the Money in the Bank match, which I'm afraid of because we know WWE sometimes, especially in the Money in the Bank match, will be a fan favorite and they'll go with somebody completely different. But I think if Big E wins, he's like that's the thing about it. Like you're like, oh, Edge. Well, no, Big E wins. Big E wins Money in the Bank at pay per view. Big E's champion not that long from then. He could be a champion SummerSlam or he could hold up. Who knows? Like who knows what's gonna happen very soon with the fans coming back and everything going on with these angles. But I think that putting Big E in this match is gonna be very exciting. He's a great competitor. Ladder matches are very, very hard matches to make hard and easy to make good. I mean, they're here or there. You gotta have the right talent in the match and he's going to be good. He's been good in this match, and I'm really hoping he can win. He could be the guy to knock Roman off his perch, and people would be shocked. But would they be? I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Like, I would be shocked, but more on the fact that I'd be marking out very hard. And but before we go further into this, congratulations, Big E, being part of the number one ranked tag team of all time, New Day. How about that? Number one of the top 50. Twerk that shit, bro. Let's go. So on that, to add another accolade to that, WWE seems to have no problem with it, man. Kofi and Big E are definitely legitimate main event singles and tag team superstars. I think he stands even a better chance than I started saying before because of this.
I agree 100%. Both those guys are just like main event players. Like that's the reason that I could see him. Like that's the one thing I'm like I could see him winning the match. I think a lot of us fans want him to win this. Want him to win this Money in the Bank contract because he could make it really interesting and do a lot of different things. But at the same time, I'm afraid because of WWE because they'd be like, "Oh yeah, him." And speaking of, let's move on because I think the person that's going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I'm very disappointed because I'm not going to be happy about it, is going to be the man that's won on Monday night, that won in the triple threat match. AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle fighting for Randy Orton to get a spot, and McIntyre wins. And McIntyre is now in the Money in the Bank match. And that scares me because I'm afraid that he is possibly going to just win this match.
It seems like I can't believe I'm making this comparison. They are trying to make Drew McIntyre the Monday Night Raw Roman Reigns. Like they are really just trying to push this one idea. Like, look, Roman's gimmick is working hard right now. Working hard as hell right now. So over. It's in orbit. You know what I mean? Like his game is on another level right now. McIntyre, like, don't get me wrong. The new McIntyre compared to the old McIntyre where he was Vince's little boy, like he's made a huge change. He's such a greater superstar now. But he lacks something that like Roman has for really keeping that. Hey, I mean, for God's sakes, I think McIntyre was one of those dudes that was much better as a heel. So seeing him face right now and everybody cheering for him, it's actually kind of weird for me because you're a badass, man, and you need to get back to that. Roman was a baby face stuffed down our throats for years, and it took the fans to hate him to love him because when he was a face, they expressed their hate for him full verbally. Don't even get me going back to the Monday Night Raw where right after he beat The Undertaker, their entire crowd was chanting "Fuck you, Roman," and they had to edit it out of USA. But now that he's actually a heel, like they're booing him with pride. You're better as a heel, man. Like the McIntyre thing has got to stop, man. I really hope Big
I
E,
think
big endings him, and then climbs the ladder to the title.
I think that here's the issue with McIntyre. It's not his issue where it's like, you know, he has to be a heel or do this. It's really the writers. Like, here's the thing: he lost to Lashley. Stipulation of that match was if he lost, he cannot challenge for the belt again. All right, so know what you do? You have him like after that, he has to fight like people in 3-on-1 matches or stuff like that, like stuff they did back in the day to build people up. Instead, all they're doing is like, all right, you're gonna be in that triple threat match for the ladder match. But why? Well, how did he get? How did he get in? How did he qualify? They didn't do anything crazy like that. They used to have challenges like that, and they could do it with this roster. But I feel like they are waiting for the live fans to act to really start doing core things like that. Um, but I'm really afraid that like Big E's fan favorite McIntyre's gonna be the winner. The winner, like we should just look at the card, like, yep, that's the guy. There you go. He's gonna get the briefcase. You know what I mean? And then who knows? Who knows what happens from there? You know, but I'm not excited about I was more excited. It's silly about saying it. That I'm more excited seeing Ricochet and John Morrison in the match than seeing McIntyre once again getting a shot. Where it's like, well, come on, like come on, this is silly. There should have been more than this. You know, I understand it was a last chance thing, but it it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
So if he doesn't win Money in the Bank, because I see like you're dead set on him, like just being the the overall winner here. What do they do with him? Like, I think it's time for him to get like back to some mid card titles. You know, like stack up some other numbers.
I mean, if not that, then like battle a legend at SummerSlam. Do something cool. Battle somebody from a different show. Like show something cool. Like there's a lot of things that can be done now because things are getting better in life. That should be done with McIntyre. Like they just waste things. I feel like sometimes it's just like, hey, this guy can be built up in this angle. Nah, we're just gonna rush him right to the main event every time. And it's like, why? Why are you rushing him? He's not stone cold. I'm sorry, but he's not like if McIntyre the live crowd was like 50,000 people and McIntyre's music played, people would not jump out of their chairs like they do for Stone Cold. I'm sorry. So that's the only guy to me that I've seen that's been rushed to the main event picture. McIntyre should not be rushed. They should learn how to take like write better storylines, take time. But it is what it is. What can you do?
Well, like the thing is, not that he was rushed. He legitimately worked his way up there, but at the same time, they're rushing to keep him there. They're pushing too hard to keep him there. Like, look at AJ Styles, man. AJ Styles is somebody that doesn't need a belt, but they keep a belt on this guy. You know why? Because he doesn't care. He loves the business. He'll take a tag team, an IC, a US, whatever run. He doesn't have to be in the spotlight because if his name and his music plays, he's in the spotlight. He has that Stone Cold effect nowadays that McIntyre doesn't have. Disagree?
I definitely agree with you. Like AJ Styles definitely gets we would get huge pops. I can't when the fans come back to his just the beginning of his music. McIntyre is just getting more shots, and I don't like it because they're not doing anything storyline with him. But they are doing something with Kofi Kingston. Let's move on to that. Kofi Kingston and Lashley, like this storyline's heating up. It's getting big. Let's
Yeah,
talk
do it
about it.
again. Yeah, do it again. New Day. How about my boy Kofi? How about Kofi Kingston getting that title spot? I love that Lashley just said, I accept. because those words made me one of the happiest fans on the planet. I'll mark out for Kofi 24/7, New Day all day. Everybody knows this. Original Boom Squad member and Antonio Marks here, but he could also be like one of those cannon fighters, as you said, like Edge. Do we know this could already well happen? Like, first of all, like Bobby Lashley dared compare himself to Brock Lesnar right there. No, I think MVP did compared Bobby Lashley to Brock Lesnar right there, and yeah, Brock Lesnar beat him in 7 seconds. But we already saw them have a full match with commercial break with Bobby Lashley on Raw. So like, obviously you're not Brock, bro. Kofi can hold his own against you. You're not getting paid that Fox money. You're getting paid Vince money, which means you're gonna do what Vince say. And right now, like, when it comes to the fans, man, like yeah, we're behind Kofi, but I'm a little worried about him. If he does take it, I immediately see him getting cashed in on by whoever wins the title. And here's the funnier part about it: how about in this what if universe, after the New Day was just named the #1 tag team of all time? I'm gonna say that again because it's a great fact. New Day. Kofi wins the title. Big E wins Money in the Bank, and Big E comes out and cashes in on Kofi Kingston. This is a big what if universe, but nobody ever thought
that's not
about it.
happening.
Nobody ever
That's not
thought about
happening.
that in a million
No,
years. But
that's
do
not
you
happening.
really see?
No.
Do you really?
No.
Here's where it would be glorious, and this is like me marking out hard, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but to see the WWE champion chilling with the Money in the Bank winner, you know it's a perfect heel turn like thing at any point. It can really separate the New Day if they're gonna do that. It's a definite oh my OMG moment. It's a lot of things that could happen. I'm pretty sure like I'm not a lot of people have thought about this at all, especially you. And I know it's not gonna happen. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does, I'm gonna be right there like with that dude that watched the Undertaker lose at WrestleMania 35, just jaw dropped.
Yeah, that is not happening. I'm sorry, that is not happening. There's no way that's happening. No, but I have a question for you because I do have a question. It's easy, simple question.
Okay,
Bobby Lashley wins. Is he going to get cashed in on it at the pay per view?
that's the thing, man. Like the Money in the Bank is an unpredictable thing, and here's where it comes into play because I've seen Vince do this before when it comes to these pay per views specifically. Unless the Money in the Bank is like either the first or middle match, uh, whoever has the championship match first is safe. And you know how they like to open with some of those championship matches sometimes. So whoever has that first match is safe from getting cashed in on. Factor when it comes down to watching the Money in the Bank pay per view. If your match is after the men's Money in the Bank match, then you got a reason to be worried.
Well, here's what I gotta say. I don't think that Big E is going to be cashing in on Kofi Kingston.
I
Kofi
don't
Kingston
think
is
so either.
not winning. Kofi Kingston is not winning this match. They're pushing to Bobby Lashley. Now, here's what I do think happens.
I
Now,
bet you a belt that he wins.
say McIntyre wins the briefcase or whatever, he might do a little swerve, like a little what's that? Little a hint of coming down the ring with the briefcase or whatever. But I think Brock Lesnar return to Money in the Bank because they've been talking about Brock Lesnar for weeks. They've been talking about him. And it's been kind of weird when you think about it. We haven't heard any promos. We haven't heard Brock Lesnar say anything on Twitter about this or anything. I've been looking to see nothing. So that just shows me. I think when the live fans come back after Lashley wins and they're like winner Lashley, Lesnar can come out, F5 him, go into SummerSlam strong and look good. Kobe's going to put on. This match is not going to be 7 seconds. I'm sorry. It's going to be a long, good match. Kobe puts on good matches. It's going to be a good match. Kobe's going to look good, but I do not see Bobby Lashley. I don't see either. It's sad to say, I don't see Roman Reigns or Bobby Lashley losing to anybody right now.
See, the only thing that makes me like disagree is that like they have a habit of just taking the belt and then giving it back to somebody. Like it could even happen on the next SmackDown or Raw for all we know. But I see one of them losing their title at the Money in the Bank pay per view, be it cash in, be it clean. And it's been a while since the Money in the Bank wasn't long and drawn out, so I see a cash in that night. These are my personal predictions. Uh, ooh, Biggie wouldn't do it against Roman though. I just don't see it happening. He could cash in on Lashley after Kofi whoops his ass because that could also be a tag team setup. The New Day back on Raw, but now Big E has the WWE title. I'm just being Miss Antonio Marks, bro. What's the next topic?
I see your fantasy booking already in your head. I did, before we move on next topic, I just think that the Money in the Bank match, we still have a few more, like I think 4 more people left to be announced. I think I might be wrong on that, but I think it's going to be an interesting match. It's going to be a great pay per view in front of fans. But we're going to see, but like in my opinion, I think both champions is going to crush people and just there might be like there might be little things we see like oh this is interesting like oh he might lose or like oh he fell down here comes somebody with a briefcase. We might see things like that, but I don't think they're going to do too much. All right, so then we're going to move to NXT and somebody that didn't think too much was Mercedes Martinez getting the crap kicked out of her by who? What's her name? Mikey?
Woo, Xia Li. Xia Li taking that deadly Chun Li roundhouse to the side of Mercedes Martinez grill. She had a legitimate concussion, and she is on the sideline. We don't know for how long, but yeah, folks, that was real. That half dead stretch she had at the end, yeah, that was a bodily reaction. Uh, Speedy recovery of Mercedes Martinez, but ooh, that was a vicious ending. I like what they're doing with this Tian Sha setup because the Bull Boa he's still kind of trash. He hasn't shown me anything new yet, but Xia Li has definitely stepped her game up.
Yeah, she looks amazing. But I did not like. Here's the thing: she looks amazing. She can wrestle. She's putting this angle off good. I like the little stable they have, but I'm not happy about this. Like you shouldn't have to kick someone's face off to make a impact. You know what I mean? And we all saw we're gonna watch it like ooh whatever, but I believe that like that person's gonna be heavily injured. We don't know how concussed they are, so it kind of hurts. It kind of like makes me as a fan be like, damn, that's rough, like oof. But they're pushing her, and I'm telling you right now, that's probably gonna be the like that's probably gonna be the one to upset the NXT Women's Champion. That I'm calling it now. I'm predicting it now. That's the next NXT Women's Champion. I know who wait Raquel Gonzalez, right? Yeah, Raquel Gonzalez is the NXT Women's Champion right now. She's gonna lose to Xia Li. Um, that's what I'm
That
gonna
would
say.
only happen if this mysticism that she seems to hold right now stays on point, because we still don't know anything about Lee May, or I think that's her name, the one in the chair.
Yeah, I know. Well, she wrestled, so she's also a wrestler who wrestled in Japan. I think she's a little bit older. That's why she's in the chair. She's doing this gimmick and whatever. I would probably fine. Let me sit in the chair and play a gimmick. Cool. Pay me money. Sure, I'll take it. So the gimmick is really cool and I like it. Like I think that the mysticism is not going away, and you see it on if you watch NXT. There's nobody that looks like the champion looks great. You got a few tag teams going on, but besides that, she's been coming down for weeks now and just like beating everyone and getting very aggressive and looking completely different than what she looked before. So I really like her. Speaking of aggressive in the fight, uh, we got Johnny Gargano and Karrion Cross getting it on NXT right now. What do you think about two heels fighting each other?
Well, it's not really about the heels, man. It's about the championship, and Johnny Gargano just seems to be like dead set on getting the NXT championship back. And like, like he's made a full heel turn, man. I'm so proud of Johnny Gargano, like the heel he's become. Because when uh DIY broke up, he was definitely like the babyface going there because Tommaso Ciampa was wrecking him like over and over and over. It all started with him being like the little Marty Jannetty of the group, even though there was no Marty Jannetty to DIY. Um, but like he stepped into his own. Like, look at this little man brought up like his own group now. His wife's tag team champ. He's being a mentor to Austin Theory, and he's definitely solid in his position. And I love how he just chooses to stay in NXT and do his thing. Props to that man being smart. Him and Champa. We are NXT, bro. We're gonna stay down here and like do this. So like, who knows, man? Maybe they could show Karrion Kross the way, but it doesn't look like him or Austin Theory can even phase this man right now. I think he's fighting a losing battle, no matter how many people he got on his side. Yeah, you want to
Well,
talk cannon fighter, man? He's lining up to be cannon fighter for Karrion Kross.
I don't think he is because here's the deal: like Karrion Kross is moving up very, very soon. They want him to move up soon. Like they want to have him. Like the rumor on the internet is they want to have him versus Roman Reigns. Like they want him to move up. So I think Johnny Gargano is the transitional champion. Like he's the like right now he has stable. He has all that. He's not gonna have the belt for long. He's gonna drop the belt to the next guy coming up. This or that. Maybe like Samoa Joe when he finally wrestles again. This and that, whatever. But I don't think right now um it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen like the next few months that Karrion Kross drops the belt to Johnny Gargano. Gargano has the belt for like maybe 2 months, maybe if that, and he drops it to somebody else in the storyline. Johnny Gargano is like the Hulk Hogan of NXT, in my opinion. Like he's a Hall of Fame guy that's been there forever. He ain't going nowhere. And when new guys come in, he's like, "Hey, this is what you do. You do this, you do that." Like he probably like we don't know how it is down there, but I'm pretty sure he's telling people what to do, and people are listening. So I'm pretty sure when Karrion Kross was like, "Hey, I want to move up to go to SmackDown and Raw where the live shows are and the fans are and the money is," um, he's going to drop the belt to Gargano and move on. And it makes sense right now for Gargano to do it when it comes to him because they have a stable. The stable looks strong; they're not breaking up. But sooner or later, Indy Hartwell is going to like. Let's face it, not everybody that's in that stable and almost everybody in NXT isn't Gargano and Ciampa, meaning they don't want to stay in NXT. They want to get up to the main roster. It's where the money is, the contracts, the pay per views, the live shows, the fans, the merchandising, all that. Get your name out there, you know, to become like nobody's becoming a wrestler at NXT to be like, I want to become Aldo Montoya. They all want to become Stone Cold or The Rock. They want to be the top champion. So that's what's probably going to happen in the next few months. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen very soon. That's why we're beginning this now, starting the seeds.
You call him the Hulk Hogan of NXT. Like, I want to touch on that. Like, so you don't think he's actually shown a couple of the superstars the real light? Like, look, don't worry about that Raw and SmackDown. Just stay down here, man. We'll be good. Because they got people like Finn and Joe coming back. You think they came back voluntarily, or maybe like they just realized they were actually getting way more camera time and better matches to put on NXT?
Finn Balor went because they didn't have anybody on TV and they needed people to be on the roster to get more viewers. And Samoa Joe is there right now because they're testing out to make sure he doesn't get injured. I think that's what it looks like to me. Um, I do think he's cat right now. He's making Karrion Kross look good. Like he doesn't look amazing. Karrion Kross is like choking him out, pulling him out of cars and stuff. You know, he's Gargano is a guy that who. What do you mean he showed people the light? Like stay in NXT. Nobody wants to stay in NXT. They do. That's it. Nobody wants to stay there. everybody moves up. When they move
Of course,
up to
they
the
don't
main
want to stay
roster,
there, but he's telling
they
them
move
like,
up.
"Yo, maybe you should."
Finn Balor went there, like both those guys. Finn Balor went there because they needed a star on the main roster. Now they got some people, and they're doing all right. They got more cats coming in. They're fine. Then they have, Samoa Joe, who's backstage, like doing this. Oh, I'm an enforcer, this and that. That's fine. They don't need Karrion Cross. Karrion Cross can move up very soon and just drop the belt to Gargano. Gargano can then be like, you know what? I'm gonna give the belt to this guy next. Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby, man. He hasn't been looking that Adam Cole-ish lately, man. Kyle O'Reilly been whooping that boy. The 1 week he's getting choked out by Samoa Joe, and the next week he's getting tapped out by Kyle O'Reilly in the ring while Joe watches. They've been clowning Adam Cole a little bit since he been back, and they're going to set this up for the Great American Bash. O'Reilly Cole too. I think the bull got something up his sleeve because he's tired of a little outside interference. Adam Cole, I could easily see having another advocate or disciple of some sort come this Great American Bash, and I say that full heartedly, man. He's that type of dude. He's that Shawn Michaels. I'll get somebody to watch my back because I don't trust people. Like, how do we think we got Diesel? Like, so I could see him pulling something of the sort. And the Undisputed Era have definitely gone their own ways now. What do you? I still don't. I'm not totally buying not from Concentrate Kyle O'Reilly, but
I think
I
what
guess
I
I
think
know they're gonna give us a good match.
you just hit you hit the nail on the coffin right there. I think you're right. Adam Cole is going to have a disciple. The disciple might move up with him to the main roster or something like that. But he's going to have somebody that's going to. The match they have is great and everything, but I can just see something at the end, something like that happen that might leave a little bad taste in some people's mouths. I could see something happen at this Great American Bash. And also, if you didn't know this, right now they're having the Breakout Star Tournament, so there's gonna be a lot of all these. There's a lot of people right now that've been getting ready at the Performance Center. They're gonna be wrestling, so they're gonna be moving up. So maybe one guy from that is like, hey, I'm Adam Cole's disciple. I'm the student. I'm learning from him. That could be really interesting. And this pay per view, there's our event, whatever. It's gonna be on Tuesday. It's gonna be good. Great American Bash gonna be good. But speaking of good events and good matches, we had a great main event this week on NXT, and we have a new North American champion who I know the Dark Horse probably was like, I hate this guy, and it's Isaiah Swerve Scott. Mark's talk.
I really wish the Dark Show was here for this speech because we know how much the Dark Show loves Hit Row. And he is such an Isaiah Swerve Scott fan. But he's not here to give us more props. So I actually will not give him props. I was waiting for Swerve to lose that match, but with a posse like Hit Row, it was bound to happen. Like, you don't come as the champion to a match by yourself, and you got against the guy with an entourage of 3 outside the ring, and expect no interference. You must be outside your mind, to quote Top Dollar when he took out Leon Ruff. You must be outside your mind. And that's exactly what happened there. Like, it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. Bronson was holding his own, and he was putting his whole thing down for a minute. And then as soon as you saw he had the upper hand, how does it traditionally go in the wrestling business? The entourage gets involved or the manager gets involved. And it happened. And it's cool. Bronson looked cool taking them all out, but he took his eye off the mark. And that's what cost him. He was going back in. Swerve is all rested. Clack, clack. And a 450, ill 450, onto his back as he's getting in the ring. Congrats, Swerve. I think Willie's coming for you though. So Stay away from the aquarium because the killer whale's coming back for your ass. What you got?
I really enjoyed this match, but then at the end of it, I thought about it and I was like, "Oh, this is too much in NXT." Because think about it: who's the women's champions? You got you got the Way, then you got Karrion Cross, he's by himself with his woman or whatever, or him and his manager. But then you have this whole stable, and he won because he kind of won because of all of them attacking, and I'm like, oh, this could be a little too much. I don't know who's gonna beat him, but I don't know. I like the match. I'm not gonna lie, the match is really good. It was really high entertaining. Bronson Reed puts on a good match. He can really fly and everything. But I was really kind of surprised that like he lost it here. It's like, whoa, you didn't want to do this like a takeover? You're doing it on like TV? Like, okay, but Isaiah Starr Scott's very I'm just gonna say this. He should right now, he should be kissing the ground every morning he wakes up and going, thank you for not releasing me with one of the people that I released and giving me a stable because he's the only reason he's this champion is because of the stable. If he didn't have this stable, he'd just be a dude probably getting released in the next few like weeks, put it that way.
They put a little work into him. I've seen a couple character changes of his, like evolution of his character since he got there. Like before, he's just Isaiah Swerve Scott, like, oh, like here's this dude jobbing all the time. He paid his dues. He was doing his thing. He was still putting on great matches when he was jobbing. It's just that he couldn't like seem to pull out those dubs. And like when he starts to pull out them dubs, and it's funny like how the feud that really elevated him was against Leon Ruff, who we still haven't seen since Top Dollar took him out. But now that Swerve has the North American Championship, I guarantee you, I'd put money on it that that's the very first person outside Bronson Reed coming for him and that belt as like some kind of return. And that's an easy work because they've already worked a lot together. We know how the business works. And he's going to have the belt for a minimum of 4 to 6 months. Minimum. They put some good work into him. And, yeah, I Hit Row kind of annoys me, but the gimmick works. Everybody seems to understand it. It's got its haters. It's got its lovers. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's like most gimmicks are gonna have their haters and lovers. I just feel like this is just too much. They have too many stables going on where it's just like the Way. What's their gimmick? Oh, we're all kind of the same. We're just like nerdy people. All right, cool. Hit Row, what's up with you? Oh, we're just peoples. Like, what do you mean? Like, what? Like, I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like that the stable used to be back in the day. I'm sorry, I'm just going to talk about back in the day real quick. But back in the day, the Dangerous Alliance. There's a reason you had it like that. You know what I mean? You had the Heenan family. You had the Hart Foundation. You had all that stuff. This kind of just feels thrown together and like I know Adonis. I remember Adonis, but the one guy's from A&A. Cool. Oh, well, he's training to be a wrestler. Cool to have him in a match. The girl, has she wrestled? No. She's wrestled in Independence. I've seen her on some things, but you haven't seen her in the ring. So it's just like it just looks like another heel champion, like Jeff Jarrett back in the day. Another heel champion who has outside interference, like when Jeff Jarrett had the Roadie. So I don't know. I just hope whoever beats him, the next champion will be a face, and there'll be a really big face. I hope it's somebody really, really good. That's what I think. Moving on, let's move on to a wonderful show that usually was on Friday night because of basketball, but now it's on Wednesday nights. And it's AEW Dynamite, and the first match of the night was Eddie Kingston and Pentagon. I'm gonna say you can say L0 Mero, Pentagon, whatever it is. They defeated the Young Bucks. So let's talk about that.
The Young Bucks, man. Never, still not a fan, man. I'm just not. They're a good tag team. They have great chemistry as brothers, obviously, but I've seen it all before. Like their new attitude isn't really impressing me. And maybe I'm a little skeptic there, especially with the whole elite thing running overboard right now, like with the Kenny Omega and the Bucks thing. So, but the match itself, I totally love Penta, and him and Kingston are a very interesting team because Kingston's that all-out brawler and Penta's that showman, and they put on a hell of a show. I'm glad Penta and Kingston came away with the Vic. Um, I'm not sure if that puts them actually in line for a title shot. If that's what they were, oh yeah, it does. That was the stipulation of the match. So let's see where this happens next.
Wait, you don't think Eddie Kingston is a brawler? Is that what you said?
I
You think
said
he's a
Eddie
showman?
Kingston is a brawler.
You say he's a showman now.
No, Penta's the showman because he's a lucha,
Oh,
and
okay.
Eddie is the
Okay.
brawler. That
I'm
bro,
sorry.
I've been to
I
Eddie
got
Kingston
confused.
matches so many times,
Okay.
like through my
Yeah.
wrestling fanship, like so many House of
CZW alumni
Hardcores.
right there.
Yeah, man. Like no, I Eddie Kingston not a brawler. Are you kidding me? Eddie
Oh, I know
Kingston's
that.
like one of the
This was
brawlers.
like
He
I was
fights
confused a
dirty. He
bit.
fights
I mean, I think Pentagon.
brawly.
I think Pentagon's a brawler too. Like he does some moves where he picks people up and you know pile drives them through chairs and tables and stuff like that. So I think he
But
has that style too to him.
Penta's a hardcore lucha, and those like are rare to come across. Like he's
Yes.
willing to sacrifice his body and yours at the same time. Doesn't matter on or through what.
All right. And the other thing he said that kind of bothered me is he said the Young Bucks are great wrestlers. They are spot monkeys. That's what they are. They are not wrestlers. You
They
could
do the
not
same
put
thing every time. That's why I
that's a
said they're
spot monkey. That's
okay.
a spot monkey. That's
I
not a
didn't use
wrestler
your
to me.
term, but
That's not a wrestler.
at least we know we're on the same page. I didn't use that
I
term,
do.
but
I think they're good spot monkeys. I mean, they know the spots and stuff, but like that's not wrestling to me. That's silliness. Like that's just that's. I've gone to independent shows and seen matches like that and been like, ugh. And then I've gone to shows. What did I go? I went to a show a long time ago and saw Trent Acid versus Jimmy Havoc wrestle for 30 minutes nonstop, and then wrestle for another 20 minutes. And Jimmy Havoc beat him for the belt. I didn't know either one. I didn't really know either one of these guys, but the match was just great. Then I've watched every Young Buck match ever. I've watched a lot of them because I have. I don't. I'm not somebody that just hates on somebody and doesn't see their stuff. But every match I watch, I'm like, this is like, insane. I could do like 15 power bombs, 12 drop kicks, and 15 super kicks to the Young Bucks, and they would get up and like beat me with like 4 moves. That's not wrestling. That's not. But I'm happy that I think AEW is seeing that they cannot have the Young Bucks be champions too much longer. And hopefully it moves on to Kingston and Pentagon. I think that they would be great for the live crowds coming soon. And they're great wrestlers. And Eddie Kingston is amazing. Like on the mic, in the ring, like he is one of the top guys for real.
Eddie Kingston has some of the sickest mic skills that the wrestling world has ever seen. No doubt about that. Like he is up there, and I like to give a little credit to that to my boy MJF too. Like when he talk AEW and mic skills, you got to throw him up there. Maybe his wrestling isn't like the top of the world, but man, can this man run a mic? And on that note, let's bleed into the next one with MJF and Sammy.
Oh, let's wait for that because that's the main event. We have two other things that are very interesting to happen. The first thing interesting to happen was it looks like we're going to have a coffin match probably in the next few events, but hopefully by Fighter Fest in August, I think it is, with Darby Allin and Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky and probably Sting involved too, because Darby Allin got taken out in a coffin, was brought out in a coffin by Sting this week. So what do you think about that?
I love the coffin match concept being brought back. And it's crazy that it didn't happen in WWE. The Undertaker's not there to really do it anymore. So, like, there was really no setup to do one in WWE. And, like, wow, genius for AEW to take it. It's Otis still sitting on their shelf, and like it didn't fit anyone's character, but it fits Darby Allin's. It's like we have like a reincarnated Undertaker over there, and like we got Sting backing him up, man. I like this match makes me excited as hell, and I'm gonna say, man, like Ethan Page, he can wrestle. Darby Allin can get at it. I like Scorpio Sky and Sting in the background, like two people I highly respect. So this match makes me excited. Like I can't wait to see like how it goes down and how they both get involved. What else can I say?
I mean, I think it's very interesting to have the coffin and stuff, but I think that like he's a little different than the Undertaker. I think he has a dark side, but I think the darkness to him also like he pulls thumbtacks out and this and that. Like this match is going to be a coffin match, but I think it's going to be like a hardcore coffin match. That makes sense. You know what I mean? So, and he's going to like the way he's going to probably win is like coffin drop the dude into the coffin. You know, because that's the way it's the way it should be with Darby Allin. Darby Allin doesn't like that's one thing I'm happy they learned about him was they put the TNT title on him for a long time, and he didn't really need that belt. Like he had great matches with people, but he's still having great matches and great storyline. And they're kind of using Sting to the best benefit they can. Like Darby's not great on the mic, but Sting can teach him in a mentorship, and that is going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing thing. Speaking about two people that were possibly mentor and friends. You know what I mean, that looks like things are heating up. We got Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. It looks like this week Kenny Omega had Evil Uno talking to him, and Evil Uno was kind of trying to entice the idea of a Hangman Page Kenny Omega match. And then when the Dark Order went backstage, Hangman was like upset with them about doing it, and then they all gave really good reasons to why he should be in the match. So let's talk.
Uh, Everybody keeps saying that Hangman Page is supposed to be the one to take the belt from Omega. So you really think it's gonna happen this soon? Like that nothing's official yet, but obviously there's nothing not obvious in the world of professional wrestling. We can see what they're trying to set up. And number one contender is number one contender. I think it's a little fast. I thought they were gonna keep both the belts on Kenny a little longer, but I thought it was gonna be Adam Page. So like I'm saying if they actually go at it, Adam Page can do it. But we also got to worry about who's going to be the one to take the extra belt from Kenny? Is it going to be Hangman Page or is it going to be Sami Callihan? Which we're crossing like those two worlds because those two worlds are crossed, and I'm right. So if it is going to be one of these two, if it's going to be one of these two, I don't think he's losing both. But if it was to be one person to take one of them from him, do you think it would happen like at this next set of events?
No, nobody is beating Kenny Omega right now. Kenny Omega is like Roman Reigns on two different shows. Nobody is beating him. They gotta wait for it to like did they build Hangman Page up? Yes. They build him up enough? No. He's not gonna beat Kenny Omega. He needs to beat like what he needs to do is like beat Lance Archer, then beat like Miro, then move up and beat Kenny Omega. Right now, he's beating some people. I'm not gonna lie, he's had some good matches with people on pay per views. Like Brian Cage match was really good. He had everything on the last pay per view, but he's not beating Kenny Omega. I'm sorry, he's not. It's gonna be a good storyline if they do go this way. But right now, Kenny is the all around champion. The man has, like, think about it. Roman Reigns, how many belts? One. Hey, how about Bobby Lashley? How many belts? One. All right. Kenny Omega, how many belts? Four. Four belts that man has. Remember that.
Where do you see it ended?
Where do I see it ending? I see it ending like In the end of the fall or the winter, when they finally build a big star up, like they're gonna have to build like it could be Christian at some point, but like not right now. They got to build people up. They have to get like everything starts anew, kind of. The fans are coming back. Fans could like you could bring Orange Cassidy out and be like, we're gonna push him, and then fans could be like, boo and boom everywhere, and you have to stop pushing them. So a lot of things can change soon with fans coming, and this could be something that helps change it. That they're gonna have to need. They're gonna want like put it this way. Nobody is like no one except for like one person we know, Mister Best in the World, has been champion for that long in a long time. I don't think Kenny Omega is doing it for that long. Do I think he's going to do it for a little bit longer? Absolutely, but sooner or later they're going to build somebody up to take the belt from him.
And the saga continues. So, with that said,
let's continue to the next saga, which was our main event. The saga going on, which was still going on between the Pinnacle and the Inner Circle. And MJF this week beat Sammy in a huge upset, in my opinion.
I mean, Sammy's always going to be upset anytime he loses to MJF. It's very clear that Sammy can't stand MJF, and like it's just like a rub in the face, like every time he takes that L. But I mean that story is. I'm glad they're still building it because Sammy's getting main event time. MJF, like I already commented earlier, great on the mic. He could put on better matches, but he plays the heel so damn well that you're willing to forgive him for some of the stuff he doesn't do in the ring. Like not all of them have everything. Like they can possess one, work on the other, and that's just how it is. Like you got the mic skills, now you got to work on your in ring. You can take your bumps. You gotta take them a little better. You got to give them a little better. Like you need something that you're missing. Like I don't know. He's like tapping A and B in Street Fighter. It's like punch, punch, kick, kick. Oh, here's a weapon. Clack with the ring.
I think what they're doing with MJF right now and Pinnacle is they're giving them as many wins as they can to make them look really good. And maybe sooner or later the Inner Circle is going to get their dues and stuff. But I think also they're kind of dwindling down the Inner Circle. Like I just saw a picture for Jake Hager to fight in MMA. So if he's doing that, that means they're going to dwindle it
Fedor,
down.
yeah, he's fighting
Bellator
versus Fedor.
Yeah, they're going to start breaking people up. So if they're going to start breaking up, they got to have people. They got to have the Pinnacle start winning, and the Pinnacle starts. Here's the thing I think is more interesting that people don't think about. So Kenny Omega, right? We just talked about him a little bit ago. Let's talk about him in AEW one more time. It's the reason I want to talk about him. Pinnacle beats Sammy. Then they beat then MJF beats Jericho again. Then he goes and beats somebody else, Hangman Page. Then he beats Brian Cage, and he keeps beating people until he's finally there with his stable, and he's like, "Well, who else do I have to beat? Kenny Omega." So think about that. If Kenny Omega is MJF the one that's good that could take it from him, if they keep pushing him like this till up until November, December, January, February, that could be the point where MJF's stable's better than him. He looks better than Kenny Omega, which would be amazing, and that could be the one. I know Dark Show is going to listen to this and be like, "You guys crazy, you're out of your mind." But I think that's something that's where I think AEW's long plans are. They see MJF as an asset, as somebody that can beat up all these people, and maybe sooner or later he could be the one that could be AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
I definitely see them setting that up in some way, shape, or form. They're building him to be that superstar, but I just don't think he's there yet. So this is great practice. Everybody in the Pinnacle deserved a shot at main event status. Okay, That's that goes without saying. The Revival, aka FTR, which I do like to point out that just because they switched companies, was denied a spot in the top 50 of the WWE, which is a huge travesty. They are one of the best tag teams that hit that circuit in a long time. And I remember this because one of the classic matches they had with DIY, one of my favorite tag team match, tag team title matches of all time in NXT. Such a great match, technical, hard hitting, so good. Denied a spot because of a contract switch. And I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but they might have had one of those spots in the top 10 and the top 20 that I was just like, who the hell are these guys? And they just kind of filled some of these spots. I think one of those spots was theirs when they were designing that documentary. And it's a damn shame. So Sean Spears, aka Ty Dillinger, another one, man. Great. He put on great matches. And then AJ Styles starts using his finisher as some kind of signature move, and they just pushed him to the side. Like, oh well, we got somebody to do that now. We don't need you anymore. So he became the chairman, literally. And you know, they all deserve that spot. And being like MJF as a mouthpiece. Ah, so good. Like we don't find a better mouthpiece. Like I said, his mic skills are just on like his mic skills are next level. I'll give him that.
Wait, I have a question to ask you real quick. Here's my question to ask you. Was the Four Horsemen for the Four Horsemen, or were the Four Horsemen for Ric Flair?
The Four Horsemen were for the Four Horsemen.
No, I don't believe that at all. I think the Four Horsemen were a stable that was built and made for Ric Flair to be the star. He was the one. He was the leader. He was on mic all the time. He was on. He was front center. He had the main event matches, all that. Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard were main eventing. Barry Windham wasn't main eventing. They weren't doing that. MJF, this group is built for him to look good. They want to make him look good. They need him to look good. That's why. And I'm not saying he's Ric Flair. I'm not putting him on that level at all. But I'm saying in terms of a stable, this stable is not a stable of a bunch of dudes all trying to get over. This stable is for MJF to get over. Pinnacle is for MJF. Pinnacle is not for Pinnacle. The
So
same
you're
way.
naming him the Adam Cole of the Undisputed.
I would say Undisputed is different. I would say Undisputed Era is one of the stables where they all that wasn't for Adam Cole, was for all of them. You know what I mean? I would say he's more a Triple H of DX. Put it that way. He's a leader. He's the one and he's the one that's for. DX is for Triple H. It's how DX helped Triple H to get to the pinnacle to get over. The same, like funny, it's called Pinnacle. This is for MJF to get over. Someday there'll
That's
be
an
no more
interesting
Pinnacle.
statement. That
Someday,
DX was for Triple H.
yeah, I want to say that. When later on, when it was Triple H and New Age Outlaws, X Pac, and all that, we're kind of getting into a little tangent. Sorry, Najee, but you know, I feel like Pinnacle is made for MJF. That's who it's made for. It's not made for Sean Spears to get over. It's not made for FTR. They're not having the main event matches. None of those guys are. None of those guys are on main event. Even Dark. They're on MJF was on the main event of Dynamite. There's a reason why. Speaking of main events, though, let's move on to Thursday night, which until tomorrow is our last night of this week of wrestling, and we had Impact. A little bit of Impact going on. The biggest thing of Impact going on was our main event, which was the Elite. That's right, Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Sami Callihan, Chris Sabin, and Moose. So very good match. End of the match, they basically teased and showed you that Moose was going to fight and become an issue. with Sami Callihan, and they lost. The Impact guys lost against the Elite. Kenny Omega won.
I generally don't get a chance to watch Impact, so I'm sorry I don't have a lot of input on this one.
Well, the only input is just looks like to me that like this is good. This is going to be a good event. Slammiversary. It's usually their good event. They're going to have an X Division X match, which are fun as always. There's going to be debuts, and they're going to be in front of live fans. But the same crap's going to happen, in my opinion. I'm not trying to call it crap, but Kenny Omega is not losing the belt to anybody on Impact right now. Right now, there's nobody that's going to beat him right now. Even Moose, I'm sorry, not going to beat him. Sami Callihan, not going to beat him. Is it going to be a good and a different match? Maybe it could be a little hardcore. Yes, Sami Callihan did put on a really good match against Trey Miguel, but I'm not the biggest fan of Sami Callihan. I think it's going to be good and fun to see fans again, but I'm not the biggest fan of Sami Callihan. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I don't think anybody's really been a fan of Sami Callihan since he lost it to Tessa Blanchard. But like everybody's just waiting for somebody, and they're gonna make too much money off selling tickets, waiting for people trying to wait for Kenny to lose. And we all know he's like the best on the planet right now. Like it's not gonna happen without circumstance. It's not. Like you have to have a weapon that can beat the Elite and the Good Brothers. Like this man is too heavily backed, and along with Don Callis in his corner, making every stipulation as comfortable for the champion as possible. This story is going to go on for a long time. Who's going to take him? Nobody knows.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody for right now. Nobody knows. They got to like both companies need to build up stars. Like the Jungle Book match Kenny Omega had 2 weeks ago on Dynamite was wonderful, but like they need to build up stars. They need to get people on Dynamite and Impact to battle against Kenny Omega because if not, they're just fooded. That's it. They're just food. They're food for him. The V trigger 12 times in the face. Then hit with the one winged angel, and that's it. Like nobody's beating this guy. I'm sorry, he's the best. I hope the only thing that'd be really cooler than this is seeing him come to a WWE ring and walk down and Roman Reigns and him face to face. That'd be cool, and I think that would be amazing to see. But besides that, I guess I can't dream and fantasy book it too much.
Nah, man. What if Tony Khan bought Peacock?
He would have to have a lot of money. That's part of NBC, man. That's a lot of money right there. That's NBC.
They own like the WWE, like streaming rights and all that. Like he can get his finger in there somehow and make that happen.
That's asking for a lot, man. That's a lot of money. Hey, that means Dynamite has to like take off, and if that took off, then he wouldn't need to buy Peacock. You know what I mean? Plus, like WWE, I think is still out there in the market of trying to sell. They're trying to sell. They're not trying to sell, but they're seeing if anyone would sell the company and buy the company for as much money as they can. So that's something that's very interesting because somebody could come along. I think the biggest person to come along would be Disney, and that would be just insane. With Luna Vachon as a Disney princess.
Now it's time for that everybody's favorite segment. We're talking about the top 5. Now, if y'all haven't listened to our show before, the top 5 is where the crew just takes a couple of subjects and we break down our personal fan favorites, each being fans, not journalists. Remember this. There is no statistics here. It's just straight from the hip. So, Jimmy, what's our topic tonight?
Our topic tonight was finishers.
We are talking the top 5 finishers. of our personal selection, of course. Now, of course, we always invite everybody to comment on what you heard, comment on our top five because we'd love to hear what you have to say. You know, like what you say is what's important. By the fans, for the fans, right? And we love the fans' opinions. So I'm gonna get it started tonight. Coming in number five, and I know when my wife listens to the show, she's gonna love this. We got my man Shawn Michaels with the Sweet Chin Music. And here's the thing, I'm gonna really describe why this came in as my number five because when the Sweet Chin Music was original, there was nothing that lit up the crowd. There was nobody that ever really had a kick like Shawn Michaels back in that day. So not only did he take what everybody now is the generic super kick, and I don't want to get into the Usos and the Young Bucks and everybody else that really just uses this thing as, oh, I can super kick you. There was a difference in Sweet Chin Music. When this man went to the corner and tuned up the band, got the whole crowd hype, we knew it was coming. It wasn't, I'd also like to point out, it was not that flashy at first. That thing came just like an RKO out of nowhere, out, 1, 2, 3, that's it. I don't remember him tuning up the band when he knocked Bret Hart out with it at WrestleMania 12. Just going to say that. So, coming in, number four, I got to give it to his tag team partner, Triple H, with the pedigree. It says stuck around for a long time. And the thing is, the move is effective. Double underhook, face into the mat with both his knees behind your neck. Yeah, you can look at me like that. Antonio Marks with his marking out list. Here we go again. And I guess everybody's going to love my number three. Do, 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 do. Because, no, I'm not saying y'all need an attitude adjustment. I'm saying F you. I'm talking the F you because when the Dr. Thuganomics John Cena made the F you was a direct counter to Brock Lesnar's F5, and it took one of the strongest men in the ring to perform this move. I just like everybody else to really point and remember this. This is straight up Antonio Marks saying, grown man Cena fan, my number three goes to my boy John Cena, and be glad that he's not my number one because my other two are definitely up there. Coming in number two, this name of the people that use this finisher is shared because I discovered it through one and then found out it was another. So this number two spot is, yeah, tied between CM Punk and Kenta with the GTS. One of the most vicious finishing moves I've seen when it first debuted, and there was no doubt about it. Like CM Punk wasn't the Big Show, he wasn't John Cena, couldn't really like do these powerhouse moves. But this man lifts you over with a fireman carry, throws you over, and meets you on your way down with his knee to your face, thus getting the T-shirt coined, mocking the Rocks, boots to asses with knees to faces. Number two, CM Punk and Kenta with the GTS. And there's no not denying number one to me. Um, Three belt Kenny, man, the one winged angel, has to be like the best finisher I've ever seen, and like it's only been kicked out of once, twice. All original, all his, named after a Final Fantasy villain in Sephiroth. What isn't to love about this move? What isn't to love about this man? The wrestling god right there, number one. That's right. I reached out of the WWE box into the real world and coining that to Kenny Omega with the one winged angel. What you got for me, Tim? What you think?
Well, first, I think like your list is like top five main eventers. Like they're all main event people on your list. Then I think about their moves and like when you look like here's the thing about a lot of main event guys. Some of their moves are really cool, you know, I mean curb stomp, stuff like that. Some of them are just like I'm gonna put your head between my legs and then drive you into the mat. What? If somebody told me they're gonna do that, I'd be like, nah, you're not doing that move. Sorry. So like I'm not a fan of your list. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm not a fan of your list. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I like the FU. I like the name. I like when he had the FU and all that. But the FU was like a dump move. The GTS, I like that. Shawn Michaels was just kicking people in the face. So like it wasn't like other people doing it kind of made it more move in the move set for people. But like I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of your list. We're on different spectrums. So here's my top
The marksman
five.
is the fan. He has no fans. I understand
I
this. I
know.
go through it every week.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's okay. You like what you like. You like a John Cena. You like a FU. You like a Shawn Michaels and a Triple H. It's okay. It's fine. All right, here we go. Number 5 coming in. I wrote down both names of this move because this has 2 names. This move, and it's the Frankensteiner or the Hurricanrana. And this move, Americanized by Scott Steiner in the 90s, and then but Mexican wrestlers were doing it for years, and now people do like different versions of it. People do like, if you don't think about it, like Canadian Destroyer, that's a version of it. The Panama Bomb or Canal or whatever it's called. I'm sorry, Adam Cole, no disrespect. That's a move that he does. That's kind of like a Frankensteiner. So the Frankensteiner kind of like helped other moves get their move set out there, and it's a great move. People weren't doing moves like back then. Like, let me jump in the air, grab you with my feet, and do a backflip and drive you into the mat. Very different. Everybody, number 4. A lot of people were doing power bombs, but this guy was doing the awesome bomb. The awesome bomb is great. If you don't remember the awesome bomb, was, I'm going to power bomb you, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to running power bomb you. Then I'm going to throw you over the top rope to ringside where a table would be. We'll drive you into the table with the power bomb. Great move. People have done power bombs. Power bombs are usually cool. I liked them back in the day. It was very vicious and stuff. But this move is probably the coolest move when you think about it because you're incorporating a weapon into your finisher. So it's really cool. Number 3 is a move that a lot of people also did, but I like this guy's move better than anybody else. And that's Mr. Monday Night, if you know what I'm talking about. Rob Van Dam, the 5-star frog splash. I mean, who can get higher than Rob Van Dam, you know? Like that move. Exactly. That's that's what that move's for, and all that. Like that move is just insane. So many replays I've seen where how high he really is. Now, nothing against Eddie Guerrero and all that, but I like the 5-star more.
Now, number 2, figuratively or literally with the how high he can get?
Both. Number 2, out of nowhere, RKO, a move that Johnny Ace, who John Laurinaitis, we all know, he used it back in the day called the Ace Crusher. Now, it didn't get that much notoriety, but as we see, Randy Orton does that move, and like out of nowhere, we've seen the memes, we've seen all the videos, everything. We've seen him even like his wife do the RKO to him into a pool. This is probably one of the best finishers, executed perfectly. It's not fancy, it's not crazy, but it's done in the right way, and that's why I think it's a great finisher and deserves number 2 on my list. And number 1 on my list is a finisher that's also executed perfectly, and a move like, here's to me. If you are a top show on a company and there are 6 bad guys in the ring, you should have a finisher that gets rid of all 6 bad guys and makes you look like the boss.
You're going with a spear, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm going with the Stone Cold Stunner. That's what I'm going with. That move is executed perfectly. You get a huge pop. So many guys can, like, I like how The Rock, if you ever watch a Rock match, he would get stunned and shoot up in the air and just like really sell it good. A finisher.
No one sold a stunner like The Rock.
No one sold the stunner like The Rock. And a lot of people sold the stunner really, really, really well. Even Scott Hall, when he's going through his demons, he sold the stunner really well. And the stunner is a move. Like, here's the thing about all these finishers on my list. All the finishers on my list are moves that other people are helping get other people over. That move got that man over so much. Like, yeah, he had great interviews and all that. But if he didn't use a stunner during King of the Ring as his finisher, and then keep using it and keep using it and keep using it. Because you got to think about it. Austin did some other moves. You do like whip you across the ropes and jump over and do the Luthez press and punch you in the head. But most of his matches were punching, kicking, and weapons. He had the stunner. The stunner really helped him become a star, become one of the top. Like in my opinion, Steve Austin can be considered tied with Hulk Hogan as one of the top stars in wrestling of all time, and that move really helped him. So that's my list right there. What do you think? Let's hear your opinion.
I mean, I got you. I'm not gonna say I don't like your list. I don't agree with some of them either, but only because some of them just weren't finishers. Like you say, the Hurricane Rana led to a couple. Led to a couple. Like you said, the Frankensteiner.
The Frankensteiner was a finisher.
Yeah, this with the Steiner boys back in then, I didn't know we were thinking like tag team. Like I was wondering that before we even started the top 5 because I was just reaching out for singles, but because I wanted to throw a 3D up there or if not the 3D, the Shatter Machine. Like those are 2 vicious ones too. I can think of.
We'll have to definitely do tag team finishers on it.
Yeah, this will have to be a topic for another day where we can have a little more clarity.
Absolutely. There's so many. Oh my God. There's so many great
but I respect the list.
Moves. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I respect the list. Like it's just that a couple twists and turns wasn't ready for it right there. It's all good. It's all good. Like the fact is we love the wrestling. That's what we're here to talk about. So I do want to take a little time right now to say rest in peace to Don Wilkes, aka the Patriot. We found out he passed away today. He was a good dude. I met him a couple times personally, and he's always willing to take pictures and not charge money. First of all, but I remember him as a kid, man, and rooting for him to. I forget who he was fighting around the time, but he was definitely going for the WWE title, and everybody had his back. It was before Kurt Angle stole his music. For those of y'all who don't know who the Patriot is, Kurt Angle to this day still comes out to his music. But yeah, man, rest in peace to the Patriot. So does that wrap up, Jim?
I mean, I'm just gonna say rest in peace to the Patriot, but I mean, it's really sad that he passed away. I'm really, my heart goes out to his family and his friends, and rest in peace. And then I also want to give a shout out. I want to give 2 shots at shout outs. I want to say a few things, give a shout out. First, I'm going to say always, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to give us some comments. Don't forget to share this. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's not fake to us. And give a shout out to Dark Show, who couldn't be with us tonight. We'll see you next time. And a shout out to our editing master, Najee. Thank you for helping out with always, listening to us for hours and editing all this, because I know it's probably not fun.
And it seems like that's it for the Raw Crew tonight. Also, shout out to our sponsor, King's Cannabis. Keep it blazing. And that's it for this episode of the It's Not Fake Fancast. I'm Antonio Marks and the content guru, Malachimbi Jones. We are out. Like, share, subscribe, and we will talk to you next time. We out.